Okay, we're going to get started. So if you could come find a seat. Love to see the gathering, but we're going to start the program here. Well, I have to say, I am really happy with the crowd that we see here tonight. We actually may have to add some chairs. This is fantastic. Thank you for being here and supporting your community here at the Village of Shelby. This is outstanding. I want to acknowledge a few folks before we actually get started with the RRC presentation. And I'm not going to do the same thing at 7 o'clock, just in case you're wondering. First of all, I want to thank the Ladder folks in the Ladder, Brian and Troy and the group for allowing us to use this facility at no cost. Then can we give them a round of applause? I also want to thank Malcolm Carey over here. He's recording this for us on YouTube. It's being recorded. It will be uploaded tomorrow or the next day so that people that weren't able to be here tonight will have the chance to watch and join in. So thanks, Malcolm, for being here, too. If we give him a round of applause. And then also the Village Council, I'd like to acknowledge them. If you could just stand maybe or at least just shake your hand in the air as to who you are. Thanks, Village Council, for being here. Village Planning Commission also. Yeah, all right. Our village staff, can you guys please raise your hands? So I really appreciate you guys being here as well and representing. Yes. I'd also like to acknowledge the Shelby Township elected officials and appointed officials. If you're Shelby Township elected or appointed, can you raise your hand, please? Appreciate you being here and representing Shelby Township. And then Senator Bumstead is also here. Appreciate you being here, Senator, in the back for those that never met him maybe before. He's over there eating. And then Josiah Bear from Congressman Molinar's office, right here. Thanks, Josiah, for being here. And then the many MEDC staff that are here, if you could kind of shake your hand and we could like to see you. Thank you for being here as well. We give them a round of applause too, right? And then finally, there's some different development consultants that are here that we've been engaging with that will help us with this vision, and we'll be interviewing them and looking at specific plans and precise vision, and they will be a part of that. So I'm glad that they're here as well. I won't make them raise their hands, but appreciate you guys being here. Unless you want, why don't you raise your hand? The development folks. So nice to see you there. All right. What's that? Yeah, and then our county commissioner here, Joel McCormick. Absolutely, and Joel's right here in the front. So thanks, Joel. If we could clap for him as well. Thanks, Mr. Raffaelli. All right. Okay, now with our RRC presentation that we have today. I'm just super excited that we're to this level. This is just a great opportunity for our community. It's just a wonderful opportunity for our community. Lots of people put energy and time into this before me or before even the people before me to make this happen. And we're just so appreciative of them and their efforts. And I would like to invite Mr. Burdett, Curtis Burdett, who is our economic director, our executive director of Oceana County Economic Alliance, and he's going to speak on behalf or about the process a little bit and just what the RRC stands for or means to us. So thanks, Mr. Burdett, for being here.
Thank you, Phil. Glad to be joining you tonight. One more round of applause for everybody who showed up tonight. So, and Brady sends his regrets he couldn't be here. Certainly, a lot of this process is work that he was the tip of the spear on. So it's a process like the second part of tonight at 7 o'clock that invites the community to get together. So it's so important that you show up. You're voting with your feet. I know there's a game tonight next door. There's all kinds of TV that you could be streaming right now. And so the fact that you show up and you're here is part of what helps this process work. It's called Redevelopment Ready Communities. So what does that mean? I like to say I do economic development, but I really don't. Look around the room. Everybody who wants their community to be a better place tomorrow and 20 years from now is an economic developer. So I help that process, but it really takes everybody in the community who says, hey, I want this community to be better. I want to make some changes. And so looking at the work that Brady did was kind of inviting community input on saying, hey, let's look at what we want this community to be, what that direction looks like, and how we can make good decisions about how to make that process change. So some of those things happen. Just to kind of give you a few data points as far as that. The process started August 27th, 2019, and certification was reached on October 24th, 2024. So it was a 5-year process to make it happen. And that's because it takes a lot of input. It takes a lot of figuring out how to make things happen and what the community needs. And so when the community was first evaluated, we're at 20% of what the RRC best practices were. So a lot of things had some opportunity to say, hey, are we, and part of the partnership with MEDC is they've done this with a lot of communities, so they know what works well in other communities to look at the future and look at planning and look at how to make sure the community grows to what you like it to be for the next generation and the next generation after that. And that takes some planning, because once something's done, it's hard to go back. It's hard to change things. So really look into where would we like to see change happen. What are some of the things that we can make happen? The Village of Shelby hosted a CEDM Fellow from 2020 to 2021. Again, another opportunity to say, hey, how do we get the resources? How do we get somebody who's focused on what this process looks like? How can we ask our community how we can make some changes happen and make some things move forward? And then received the RRC technical assistance supporting a large-scale zoning ordinance update. So I was talking to a couple people, and some of those volunteers who get onto zoning, it's kind of a thankless job to be thinking about what that looks like. I'm seeing some nodding heads. So who's been involved in zoning? Raise your hand. All right, so we've got some folks who've been involved in zoning, and it's a lot of figuring out, like, hey, how do we, what makes sense, and we have to apply this to everybody. So we've got to think about what makes sense across the board in our community to get our community where we want it to be, and be able to make some of those changes. And so that process is really about, hey, where do we want to be? And that takes getting community input. Having a night like tonight is another opportunity to do that, and this has been going on for several years. And then there's some great things to celebrate along the way related to the process. Look at what's happening just up the street at Getty Park. So another improvement that's a part of that. When the Oceana Foods closed down not too long, and we've got a national company, Purdue Foods, that said, hey, we'd like to take a look at this facility moving in. And I was before my time at the Economic Alliance, but the Economic Alliance got to be a part of that, working closely with the village, working with the Right Place, a regional economic development group, and saying, hey, how do we make sure that they know everything they need, that this is a great community, a great place to be. So a lot of things to celebrate. So it gets into a lot of the RRC process has a lot of technical pieces, like, hey, what do we want to do to set this up so that where do we want to build things in the future? What facade improvements can we make downtown? And we've seen some of those this year as well. So, great to see each of those changes happening to build that future that says, hey, we change how we shop now. A lot of people buy online. We don't have to go downtown to do that retail. So we've got to figure out how do we have those public spaces that encourage that same amount of community, that encourage people to get together. We certainly would love to make it easier for people to be downtown and do different events. And I imagine, I know we have a couple of council members, when Brady left, that they had big shoes to fill. Phil, how about that? So they found the tallest guy who wears big shoes to take over. It takes a lot of energy to start this process, and it seems like, hey, we're asking the community for input. We're trying to make some of these changes happen, and what does that look like at the end? So it's unfortunate, Brady. If those of you who still stay in touch with him, please reach out to him and thank him. We'll certainly send his thanks to you tonight, because that process takes somebody who's willing to keep looking at those pieces, to be filling out that checklist. But the process just takes time. And so tonight is really a celebration. We're at the end of this, but it's the beginning of where do we go next. So it's a recognition that this community is invested in its future, and that this community is invited, and right after this, there's more. That's lots of cookies to get you through. And so that next process is, hey, let's keep going. So we've made this nice milestone here, and we want to keep moving. We want to figure out what's next. We want to figure out what we want for our kids and grandkids and the next generation after that. So again, I am so happy to be here tonight. It's an honor to get to speak. Unfortunate that Brady couldn't get to be here, but really, there will be some opportunities tonight. Those of you who we want to get in here for some pictures, and we've got some nice things set up here. We've got some time just to kind of hang out and chat and relax. That's coming a little bit later, but next we want to hand it over here to our folks to officially present our certification. So without further ado,
Don't worry, I will not speak forever. I'm Michelle Parkinen. I'm the Managing Director of the Technical Assistance Programs at the MEDC, and I just want to say thank you so much for welcoming us to Shelby this evening. You should be so proud of achieving RRC certification. This is a lot of work, and I know that Curtis mentioned that the community first got involved with RRC back in 2019. And you're probably thinking, why would we go through this for, so many years? It is a process, right? Planning is a process, and, good things come to those who wait. And if you do these things the right way, and clearly this is an engaged community, we typically do not see the level of involvement from the elected and appointed officials and neighboring communities and economic development organizations that we are seeing here this evening. So this is something that you should be very proud of, because clearly we've got a community that is on the same page. So it's great to see that. So our economic development momentum in Michigan, yes, it's strong today. And that is our whole goal at the MEDC. We're committed to creating opportunities for communities and businesses of all sizes. And we do that on the PLACE team by supporting our communities with a lot of technical assistance. And we do that with Redevelopment Ready Communities by helping our communities build that strong planning, zoning, and economic development foundation, which Shelby has done. We've gone through a master plan update that included a big downtown, component with an economic development strategy, showcasing that you've got those plans in place for the future. This isn't just, hey, we did this plan, and we're gonna leave it on the shelf, and we did that. No, you're working on that plan. You are putting that plan into action. And clearly, you are all here this evening to discuss things that could happen in your downtown in the future, and that is taking one of those next steps toward plan implementation. We've got to have vibrant and competitive communities in Michigan, and in order to do that, they've got to have those plans and strategies in place. But it's not just any kind of development, right? it shouldn't happen randomly. It should be community-driven and community-supported. So today, Shelby takes that next step in joining the group of 78 communities that are certified as redevelopment ready communities in all corners of the state. It means you're thoroughly prepared when it comes to planning and zoning, you've removed traditional barriers to development, and you're promoting opportunities for prospective investors by achieving RRC certification. So you've done the work to develop a streamlined process to allow for that continued community investment for both the local developer and even a local resident, maybe looking to add a deck on the back, or maybe a local business owner looking to rehab part of their business. This isn't about attracting big developers, right? This is really, if that's not what your community is supporting or interested in, this is about smoothing the process over for residents in your community to support that investment at the local level. So just really seeing that partnership and success is a huge accomplishment. Again, want to reiterate the big thank you to former village manager Brady Sellner, former community development fellow, and thank you to Curtis from the Oceana County Economic Development Alliance, and then current village manager Phil Morse, who, again, big shoes to fill. But this is where you kind of have to hit the ground running, right? You achieve the certification, and this is where the rubber meets the road. You've got to start with that plan implementation. The progress doesn't stop with certification. Our redevelopment services team has already come to visit with the community, already checked out, and has heard about multiple sites that have a lot of potential for reinvestment, that align with the community's goals, that align with what your zoning allows for. So this is really exciting to be able to work with communities that clearly have that partnership in place and can get things done. So this is another sign that you're open for business, you support community-driven development, and you've got that dynamic partnership between the public and private sector. So congrats to the Village of Shelby. Julie, if you don't mind bringing up the certification award, and would love to have the village council members come on up so you can put on a big happy smile or small smile if you prefer, and get your photo taken, because this is a great thing to celebrate, and you should be really proud for all of the hard work that you've accomplished. Anyone who has participated in all of this hard work, and we'll hand it over. Thank you. We'll give a happy round of applause. All right. Who would like to go through a little?
He's the village president. John, right there.
All right, sir. Why don't you come on over? And
We don't have to kiss it or anything.
That's the rule. No, I'm just kidding. All right, ready? Okay, right here, guys. Just like Christmas family pictures, right? Look over here, look over here. This is yours. And put it back on the table. There's also a bunch of swag back there, so.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you again. Yeah, this is really exciting, but again, it's just one step to continue moving on. Shame on me, I missed one thing. You guys can sit down if you like. I missed acknowledging Brady. Oh my goodness, Brady has done so much good before me to get us prepared, not just for RRC, but other things. It's just fantastic. Brady, if you're listening, just really do appreciate, sincerely, you put us in a better place. You made my job easier, Brady. So just appreciate him very much. And the reason he's not here tonight, he was supposed to speak, if you remember, and I forgot to say that. You're wondering, why is Curtis up here? And we love Curtis, but Brady was plastered on all the material, is because Brady had a child. His wife had a child.
sounds better.
His wife had a child recently, and it's number 2, and it's just been it's been a harder road. Everybody's fine, but it's been a harder road to get their feet underneath them. So he needed to stay home, and he made the right choice, family first. So, and appreciate Curtis, you stepping in last minute like this and doing a great job of speaking to us. And I just noticed Mark Timmer's here. That's pretty cool that he's here. Our road commission director of the road commission coming to something like this. That's pretty outstanding, Mark. Thank you for that. It really means a lot. MEDC folks, if I could ask you a question real quick. You know, when you see a crowd like this, do you guys go back and talk about this? I presume you talk about this, yeah. When they see the energy and they see the crowd and they see people coming, the staff coming, even if we had to twist their arm a little bit, maybe some of them, it just means a lot, I know, to MEDC folks and they go and talk about us, and they're going to be more prone to kind of, speak on our behalf when we're involved, when you are involved in this process like you are. I'm really excited with how many people are here. So thank you very much. So, all right, so between now and 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, we're gonna do the actual assembly. There are some goodies in the back there, cookies, some cracker dip things, and then there's some free swag from MEDC too over there in the one table, and there's plenty of wonderful people to talk to. So please stick around, and part 2 is at 7 o'clock. Thank you for coming.